Hi, this is Alemi from Yeyeo Botanica. So today, our subject that we're going to talk about is entering traditional African religions. And some of the things to think about and some of the things to know. So let's get started. So today's conversation is really about how to enter traditional African practices. For myself, I'm a Petabi, in addition to being a priestess of Oshun, over 19 years. And so one of the things I've noticed is and again, we're still speaking under the Ifa umbrella. Ifa, Yoruba, Santeria, Lukumi, Candomblé, as it's called in Brazil, but we're still talking about Orisha worship, right? There are other traditions, Voodoo, Akan, different kinds of other kinds of traditional African practices, but the ones that we're kind of focused on is under the Ifa umbrella. But the premise of things to think about, things to know, how to access these traditions, pretty much the same. The first thing that I would always tell people is you need to kind of figure out, what is your why? Why do I want to enter traditional African practice? Why not Asian? Why not Indian? Why not Catholicism? Whatever. Why traditional African practices? So for some people, it's based on they have just some motivation, some great interest. They really don't know what their interest is, but they're like, oh, I really like doing things on my own. I really like the fact that I have more autonomy in my spirituality and things like that. Also, it can be family lineage. People in the family practice this, so they practice, right? They're already drawn to it through their DNA, through their makeup. There are people who come to these traditions because there's something about it that seems very mysterious, right? Or they like things like that, or, oh, are there some connotations behind it? So I really want to know what's going on. Whatever your reason is, you're entitled to that. But you do need to get clear about what your reason is. Secondly, how do these systems work? What goes on? What's required? What's there to know? All these different things. I invite you, do some research, read some books, look up some YouTube videos, even though I will say many people have told me that because they don't know how to verify the information that they're receiving in books, online, YouTube videos, movies, whatever, that could be a little bit of a sticking point. But what's most important is that you're still doing research, right? And I definitely encourage you to find books that are maybe more reputable, because that will also help you to get better information. Going to events, finding out about where they have events for these types of traditions. Cultural centers. There's a cultural center in New York. They are centers various places. There's lots of ways to access the tradition from an outsider perspective so that you can do some observation. You can observe, you can meet people, kind of feel it, be in the moment, so to speak. Learn about how people dress, how do they carry themselves, what are some of the protocols, just from observation. Why? Because the next level will be meeting someone and learning and training under someone, right? Practitioners or followers, if you will, are people who are like you and me. We just want to practice something else. There's more than one route to the source, and we're a part of the source. And traditional practices deal with nature. They deal with earth-based things. Rain, sun, moon, sky, river, ocean, fire, volcano. We may call it different things, but it still taps into human life in some way. So these are things to kind of think about. And so that allows people to be a lot more open, right? A lot more free in their thinking. As I said before, the why, the how, and the third thing is the who. how does this, who's behind all of this, right? And so I said, people like you and me. So the way that it's structured is there is a community, right? So within the community, there's someone who's considered as an elder, who's called a godparent, a mentor. In traditional Latin communities, they're called a madrina, a padrino. The African Americans like to use, or the Yoruba term, which is totally Yoruba, is the iya or the baba. The iya is parallel, same word, different words, same energy or same person, madrina. Baba, padrino. It's still, the person still is performing the role as being a mentor, a teacher, and a guide. That's really their role, right? They are there to mentor you, to help to teach you, in addition to guide you in your journey as it pertains to what they practice. Community I use very loosely, but it is a community, it's a family, and the term that is used is ile, I-L-E. Well, that word has more than one meaning in Yoruba, but one of the meanings is the house. So people oftentimes say, oh, well, what house are you in? And basically saying, who's your elder? What community you're in. And so many times I meet people and they're like, oh, well, where's your church? And what day of the week do people go to congregate or to be in assembly? Well, these traditions don't traditionally have a church. Their community is their church. The original, in the olden days, if you will, the word church really means call out, right? Call out to bring the people together. Then it morphed into this idea of a place of assembly where people got together. And then it got assimilated by the Greeks to be a church as it pertains to Christianity. But the term calling out, bringing people together, that hasn't changed, right? So in traditional practices, people get together and they will commune either in a home, an assembly space based on the elder. Some elders have a space and some elders don't. Some people only use their home. Some people have something external to their home. Either way, it's still getting together with a main person who oversees the people in that community. In traditional practices, the one thing that, if you remember nothing else from this video, is mentor, mentee. Someone who has the information and someone who passes it down to someone else. When that person becomes empowered, then they too will pass it on. And so this goes back to the lineage. In these traditions, people oftentimes ask, what's your lineage? What's your family line? That's basically what they're saying. Who initiated this person? Who initiated this person? Who initiated this person? Lineage, just like in any other family structure. Something very important to know. Why? Because many times people meet people, they work with them, and then they may even get initiated with them. And then now they're out in the world and people say, what's your lineage? I don't know. So I like to say that it's important for you to take the time to learn some of these things, to ask questions. One of the things that I notice is that people come to these traditions and they only want the elder to be giving them information, but they don't take the time to get to know the elder, to get to know anything about this person. They may have gold to give them, but they never look for it, right? The atmosphere. One of the things to think about is the atmosphere of the community. Because now we know, okay, you've decided this is what I'm doing. I've been to events, I've met people. Now I need to think about, what does this community feel like? And do I see myself being in a community like that, right? So does the community have like-minded people like yourself? Are they interested in similar things as it pertains to religion or spirituality, right? Is it a healthy environment? Could you see yourself having your own family or your own close friends being a part of an environment like this? And I tell you, if you can't see yourself there, I would caution you with whether or not your family should be there, right? You're there to praise. Do you like the way it feels when they praise? Do they seem like they're feeling it the way you're feeling it, right? Is this an environment of learning? If you're a person who you want to learn, could you see yourself learning in this environment? Is the elder a teacher? So on and so forth, right? And then the last part is, could you see yourself having spiritual growth and development in this environment, in this community, with this group of people? As it pertains to the elder, I mentioned the community, but the elder is the person, the gender that you're interested in. In other words, are you more comfortable with female or male? Is it that the person's personality? Is it that you like someone pretty casual, or you like someone really formal, or whatever your interest is as it pertains to personality? Their availability. Are they around? Are they reachable? What's going on with them, right? Many times I hear complaints. What I do, I hear a lot of complaints, a lot of praises too, is, oh, I can never reach this person. Oh, I can never reach them when I have a problem. Or when I have an issue, I can't seem to get them to resolve it. ... Whatever else goes with that. Now that you focused on the community, the elder, my last part is you need to focus on yourself. Why? Because you're the one that's going to be living with these people, having experiences with them, sharing your life with them, your children, your family, your dreams, your goals, whatever aspirations, they're there to help you. Are you a loner versus a community person? Because if you're a loner, you need to be in a very small community or with an elder who really doesn't have anybody else to deal with. But if you are a loner who wants to break out of that, then of course you'd get involved in a community that will kind of challenge that and help you to grow. Can you take instructions? Can you follow through on those instructions? There are a lot of people, I love it, they love to get a lot of information, amass all this information, how to do this, how to do that, what is this, what is that? But then now it's time to translate it. They don't remember anything. They don't know how to do this, they don't know how to do that. Or the total opposite, people who are about learning, doing, exercising. You have to figure out which one you are. But based on which one you are will be based on the elder that you have. Why? Because if you want to learn, be with a teacher. If you want to feel, then maybe not be with a person who's a teacher. You decide. And so this part I think is maybe another important point in the video, which is, are you there or getting involved in traditional practices first for knowledge, for power, for transformation, for status? You need to put those in order so that when you are getting involved, you're clear about what your perspective is, because it can't be what they're doing for you. And I would say, as a last thing, is in order to transform your life, get the most out of your spiritual journey, and get the most out of the relationship with your elder/community, you have to be a humble student of the Spirit. If you're not willing to be a student, this tradition and traditional practices of mentor-mentee, student versus teacher, that may not be for you. I'm not discouraging you. My role is to really make you clear. And so I hope these tools have been helpful. I hope that you got something out of all of this. Definitely subscribe. Send us any comments that you have. Share us with others. Come visit us in the store. And see you next time. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, definitely like us, Give us a thumbs up, share us with others, send us your comments, come visit us in the store, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. See you next time.